May it be the will of Hashem, God Almighty, that from 13 years old you should grow to be a giant in mitzvahs, and 15 years old, as the Mishnah says in Avos Parak Hey in chapter 5, you should continue to enhance with diligence, to go on from strength to strength in your study of Torah, or toil, the Torah of Nigla, and the same as Torah Sachsidis. Be careful in fulfilling the mitzvahs of Hashem, of God Almighty, and God should make you be successful. Be a chassid, a God-fearing Jew, you're a Shemayim, and a lamdan, and a learned Jew in the ways of Torah mitzvahs. But blessing the Rebbe's signature.
And I came here and I got Miami weather, so it was perfect. And I just thank you for that weather, Rabbi Liberow. I just want to say a few small, quick words to Sadya. It was very moving to see Sadya's great-grandfather, who he's named for on the video, right before he said the Maimer. And he was, of course, a great chassid. Sadya is, of course, very special because he grew up here, and many of his cousins or contemporaries really grow up in New York or in other places where things are more, where boys who look like him are more common. And we're in the week of Chav Bei Shvat, which is the yahrzeit of our beloved Rebbetzin of righteous memory. And I just want to give you two quick anecdotes. I'll start with the sadder one of on Chav Bei Shvat itself. When the Rebbetzin passed on, the Rebbe said, make sure to notify the children, the shluchim, so that they should come and be present at their mother's, so to speak, funeral. And that's a very special thing. But now I'm going to tell you an anecdote that is a true story. I only tell true stories. I try to be very careful and verify. And this past summer, I was finally able to verify this story with who it happened, who it was, and how it was. And I had heard the story many times. But it's a beautiful illustration of a path that you can follow and the love that the Rebbetzin showed. Most of us didn't have the opportunity to visit privately in the home of the Rebbe, or the Rebbetzin and his wife, of course. But some select few did. And one person who used to work in the Rebbe's home, after he got married and he had children, he brought the children by to the Rebbetzin. Now they were just kids, about 9-10 years old. And it dawned upon them that they're sitting here with their dad by the Rebbetzin, and they don't see any kids around. So they say to the Rebbetzin, they were thinking in their mind, maybe the kids are grown up already, maybe they're out of the house. They figured the Rebbetzin looks older than their dad, so she probably has grown kids somewhere. So they very innocently asked the Rebbetzin, where are your kids? Just like that, the father at that moment thought maybe he's going to look for a place in the floor to open up so that he could just bury himself right then and there and not have to face this anymore. What a painful question. But the Rebbetzin, in her graciousness, told the boys, come with me. And she brought them to the window that overlooks the street in front of her home, President Street in New York, Brooklyn, Crown Heights section. And she pulls aside the curtain a little bit. Then a few Jewish people were walking down the street, and she tells the two children, you see, those are our kids. Those are our children. But this is what a potent message, because really, the Rebbe and Rebbetzin loved each and every Jew as a child. And the Rebbe therefore sent your father and your mother, as Olm Zayin Gesund, and gave them koiches, strength, to come over here to a place where there is, Rahman al-Islam, a tourist attraction that has, it's questionably, at least bordering on a violation of either the first or second commandment that we read yesterday in the Torah. And to give you a clue, it's a garden, but not the Basi Lagani garden. They call it a garden of, and it's plural, heaven forbid, right?